Well, hello there, and happy Thursday from a still snowing and chilly North Carolina. This is a rare occurrence for us, but a ton of fun. If you are new here to the channel, welcome. My name is Megan Sumrell. I am a time management and planning expert for women, and I'm on a mission to bring work-life harmony into all homes, including yours. And today I want to talk to you about two things that you are likely doing that are leading to a lot of mental exhaustion. They're subtle. And more importantly, I then want to introduce to you what you can do instead to help not hit the end of the day being completely exhausted. Hey, Katie, nice to see you live. So let me know if this has ever happened to you. It's the end of a long day, and it may not even be the end. Maybe it's only 3 or 4 o'clock. And all of a sudden, you're presented in a situation where there's a decision to be made, right? It could be at work where someone's asking you to help make a decision for, do you want this one or that one? Maybe it's at home when your family's trying to decide, what are we going to have for dinner? You could be out, running some errands and needing to make decisions between this one or that one. And you're just going, for the love, would somebody else please just choose, right? It just making another decision just feels exhausting. Well, chances are you've experienced this in some way or another in your life. And this is what's called decision fatigue, meaning at some point throughout a day, most of us will likely hit a point at which our brain just says, I'm done making decisions. Even a simple one, like do you want an apple or an orange, can sometimes just be the one too much. Well, the good news is there's nothing wrong with you if you're experiencing this. It's the way our brains actually work. I like to think of it, kind of an analogy is when you start each day, there is a portion of the energy that you have and the cognitive skills in your brain for decision making. And think of it like a little mini gas tank, if you will, part of your brain. And all day long, as you're making decisions, you're expending that, right? It's kind of like driving in a car. The more you drive, the gas goes down. And once it's empty, you don't really refill it until you actually rest. And usually that means sleep. It's really hard to refill that decision-making tank at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So what are two things that is likely making you empty that gas tank quicker, thus leading to decision fatigue much earlier in your day? I'm going to start off with a very, very simple one, but I promise you it's a game changer. And I resisted it for a long time because I wasn't understanding what it meant. So back to the decision fatigue example, I know the last thing I want at the end of the day is someone asking me to help decide what's for dinner. Like, I don't want to deal with it at the end of the day. Right? I don't want to have to be making decisions unless it's as simple as like, hey, we've got stuff for this or that. Let's just like make our own. That I can handle. Well, a lot of people, especially women, are stuck in this having to come up with dinner every single day, right? Well, one of the biggest gifts you can give yourself is to meal plan. Now, I didn't say meal prep. I said meal plan. And for years, I resisted meal planning because I thought it meant I had to meal prep. So subtle difference here. Meal prepping, which some people love to do, I personally find it like my own personal hell, is to spend a chunk of time on the weekend, like cutting up a bunch of veggies, like prepping stuff to make the cooking all week long easier. I don't want to spend my weekend meal prepping. That sounds like a nightmare. It just makes me resent cooking even more. Meal planning, on the other hand, is a very simple thing. Every Sunday as a family, either Saturday afternoon, same, I hate cooking too. I used to love it till I was doing it all the time. Every Sunday morning or Saturday evening, as a family, we lay out what do we want for dinner Monday through Friday next week. All right, like what is it that we all are deciding? Yeah, let's do this. Everyone gets to chime in. I'd love it if we had this, had that. Great. And we write down, these are the meals we're having next week. I then go plug them into my Skylight calendar. That's our family communication center. Then when we go to the grocery store on Sunday, we're making sure we're getting everything for the meals so that over the course of the week, at the end of the long day, or even in the morning, all we have to do is go look at the Skylight calendar, go, this is what we're having for dinner tonight. There's no decision making at the end of the day. Now, sometimes we might change it up and go, oh, let's do that Thursday and do this instead, right? We might choose to swap some, but just that small shift was a big one. Now, I want to talk to you about the biggie, one that is so subtle you don't realize that it's causing decision fatigue. All right. Chances are you have been told by some productivity expert out there that you need to work from a daily task list or to-do list, right? People will tell you, wake up, start your day, do your brain dump, write down all the things that need to get done for the day. Some people will say, circle your top 3. There's no science behind that. Honestly, pretty bad advice. And then you're just supposed to tackle the list all day, right? Now, here's what's happening when you're living your life from task lists, from to-do lists. Once you have made a list, let's say there's, 14 things on your list, okay? Now, the first thing that you do is you go reference your list to make a decision, right? You see what we're getting at here on what you're going to do first. Well, here's the fact about decision making. The more things you are asking your brain to choose between, the harder it has to work, meaning more gas is being used on that decision. So if you're looking at a list of 14 things and you're telling your brain, I need you to pick one, it's going to extend a lot of that decision-making energy. All right. Right out of the gate, first thing. Then you finish that and then you come back and you check it off your list, right? And now you have 13 left. Now, what are you doing? You're making another decision. And now you're asking your brain to decide against 13 things. Again, it's working hard. Now, you may also come along and add 2 more. So now you're back up to 15, right? So when you're operating from a task list and there's more than just a couple things on it, and you're looking at it all day long and making every single time you look at that list to see what you're doing next, you're making a decision. And the longer the list, the faster you're going to burn out your decision making because it's working off of lots as it's trying to make that decision. So if you've got a really long list, you could be hitting decision fatigue by 11 in the morning, noon, right? Because if you've got 27 things on there and you're looking at 27, then 26, then 25, you're going to hit it really, really quickly. So we make the list for all the good reasons, right? We don't want to forget things. We want things off through the cracks. We're feeling very organized by it. We like the dopamine hit of the check. So if we shouldn't be making lists like that to operate from each day, what is the right answer? Well, this is where the foundation of everything I teach inside my top program comes into play. And it is learning how to plan, and not plan a day, but plan a week. So before the week starts, I look at everything competing for my time for the upcoming week, both professionally and personally and family and all of that. And then I build a plan, meaning putting specificity into my actual calendar of when I am doing the things. It's not a list. It has the day and in some cases the actual block of time that I am doing it. All right. So then here's what that subtle shift is. Instead of this list of 17 things and I'm like, okay, what's first? When I'm sitting down to start my day, I look at my plan and I say, hey, you tell me what I'm doing first. The decision's already made. So now I've got a map. I'm just following directions. And when you are minimizing the amount of decisions that you have to make every single day, what happens is when you roll into the end of the day, you are not at mental fatigue. When I was operating in that daily list making mode for years, I remember I used to have all sorts of hobbies I like to do. I couldn't do any of it in the evening. My brain was done. All I could do, sometimes reading was even too much. Just sit on the couch and put on some mindless entertainment because my brain was just done and I couldn't make good decisions anymore. I was fatigued. Well, now, because I'm not decision making all day, what happens is I roll into my evenings feeling pretty steady state. I'm back to doing fun projects at night. I like to play games or I'll be working on a crafting project or something like that. But if you find you're hitting the end of the day and you're tapped out, it's likely because you've just been in decision-making mode all day long. And I tell you what, because I've been using this planning system for so long now, We all have days, right? I have days where something happens and everything gets derailed, and I have to, in the moment of that day, operate from kind of a list and make a lot of decisions. And man, on days where that happens, I feel it. I am a different person at the end of the day. And I tell you what, it ain't pretty. So if you find that you're just constantly hitting mental fatigue, early, mid, late afternoon, on repeat every day, ask yourself how you're going about making decisions, like how you're spending your day. Are you making decisions real time in the moment all day long on what's next, what's next, what's next? And if the answer is yes, that is likely one of the top culprits for your mental exhaustion. And this is why, if I've said it once, I have said it again, and we'll say it again here. A task list is not a plan, right? They are very, very different. Now, if you are not familiar with the top program, I've got a bunch of info on it on my website. Feel free to go kind of read up about it. You can just go to thetopprogram.com and get all the scoop about the program. But this is where you learn how to kick your list to the curb and how to master planning. And when you master planning, you reduce overwhelm, you reduce mental fatigue, and you will find your productivity increases, but you're not working harder. All right. I hope you guys have a great week. And if you're dealing with the snowstorm as we are here, I hope that you stay warm.